I was a very insecure teenage girl. From as far back as I can recall, I was very mean to myself. I didn't think I was particularly good at anything or pretty enough to compensate. I did have a strong passion for music, but I didn't think I could play or sing, but all I wanted to do was be on stage. I remember getting genuinely angry that I did not write certain songs. I wanted it so badly, I could not see straight. I remember being at a concert and instead of enjoying myself, I just felt the most intense envy. I am not proud of this, but I picked my Neville book from my best friend's elder brother. He was the coolest person I knew. He went to school for philosophy, and I wanted to be as studious as him. In hindsight, it was the best thing I had ever done. I realize it's possible that he is reading this, in which case JS, I am terribly sorry. We'll fast forward. Using his teachings, I am not going to get to any exactly what I did, read the source material, there is no other way. I received a beautiful guitar and I took to it in a way that felt supernatural. My sad scene was me on a stage at a particular arena near my hometown. I had tried to learn before I applied his teachings, to very little success. Songs materialized in my head, my voice improved, and by the time I was 22, I had a record deal. I went on to have a fruitful career in the industry. I am living my best life right now, and I never have to worry about money again. I grew up with very little. I also seamlessly manifested my husband who was a star years before I was, by coming to the realization that I was the star, and he'd be the one falling over himself to meet me. Alas, he was. It is truthfully so easy. I believe the biggest thing in my case was that I never told a soul what I was up to. My parents didn't know I could even play guitar until they heard my song on the radio. Do not tell anyone what you're up to, do not invite any doubt in. They will find out in due time. Also, read the books until you understand them on your own. Get it directly from the source, do not listen to this new age-diluted law of attraction you find on social media. If you are here, you are on the right path, stick with Neville. In February, I noticed a small patch of raised skin on my right breast. I thought it was strange, so I made an appointment to see my gynecologist. I have health anxiety, but decided to not let that take over and started to tell myself, my breast is fine whenever I thought of the breast. I also had a scene play in my head of my doctor telling me that everything was fine. I didn't put too much effort into this, and whenever "what if it's something bad" came up in my head, I reminded myself, my breast is fine. The night before my appointment, I was looking at myself in the mirror and felt this wave of certainty and relief that my breast was fine. And it was. My doctor told me, I don't feel any lump. And it feels like it's surface level, just a skin problem. Wait and see if it goes away after your period. I'm not concerned, but if you are, we can schedule an ultrasound. Fast forward to the beginning of this month and I scheduled an ultrasound, with a mammogram, because the skin was still raised. From the day I made the appointment to last night, I saturated my mind with the new story, my breast is fine. My ultrasound and mammogram are normal. Whenever I had opposing thoughts or images, I either, literally, shook my head or said, no, and repeated my new story and visualized my scenes, the ultrasound tech telling me, I don't see anything, and my doctor telling me, everything's fine, your ultrasound and mammogram came back normal. I did this so many times that simply lying in bed at night saying, my breast is fine, made me feel that same relief that I had prior to my doctor's appointment. I was unusually calm last night, and didn't wake up in the middle of the night worrying like I usually do with health-related issues. And I felt nothing going into my ultrasound and mammogram. I was just like, okay. And let me repeat, I have health anxiety. I did not have it at all today. And because I had saturated my mind so much with the new story, it played automatically while I was in the waiting room. And everything came back normal. I do have to get another mammogram in 6 months, but, hey, this is a success. Now it's time to make my skin go back to normal. I was struggling a lot with circumstances and mental health, and I figured I was doing okay just knowing about the law and trying to stay positive about things, but in the past few months the 3D really started spiraling badly. I lost all of my friends, I was extremely depressed, and my relationship with my family was only getting worse. I started having panic attacks every day, and I was so lost. Worst of all, the relationship between me and my SP had deteriorated into something really gross and upsetting. He started treating me really poorly, lying, avoiding me, and even pushed me to the floor once. About 1 month ago, I realized how bad my mental has gotten and decided it was time to fix things. And after avoiding the law for over a year, it was suddenly so easy and clear. I started with a self-care day, but not in the like shower and nails and facial way. I gave myself one day where I did a bunch of worksheets, crying, listening to sad music, and just letting everything out. I comforted myself and validated my feelings, without blaming myself or reinforcing any negative thoughts. After that I went to bed and let myself wake up knowing it was a new day, and my thoughts almost immediately started to conform. I genuinely just started living my life like everything was perfect. I felt a little delusional at first, but I didn't feel anxious or like it was impossible. And obviously the 3D still existed and I still had problems, bad and scary and triggering moments. And I didn't ignore them or anything. I let myself get sad or disappointed and then told myself it would all work out. I just stopped letting myself accept my bad circumstances and beliefs so easily. I took every upsetting moment as just a sad moment to feel bad that didn't need to mean that the future was going to be this too. Within days, I was seeing movement. Within 2 or 3 days, a house plant that I cared a lot about that was dying started to come back to life without me doing anything different. Within a week my skin completely cleared up from my depression acne, my mom and I stopped arguing so much, my grades were improving, my job started scheduling me more. People that I haven't heard from in years reached out to me out of nowhere. And then, there's the major plot line of the month. There was a music festival I wanted to go to, but tickets were getting way too expensive and getting more expensive every day, but I just started living my life like I already had tickets. I was planning my outfits and my ride, and just not worrying about how the tickets would get to me. Within a few days of starting to think like that, I got 2 tickets for about half price. After this, I started to follow some of the artists that were gonna be playing the festival just to stay updated on everything. Around that same time, my SP was starting to become the most stressful thing in my life. I was getting absurdly stressed about him all the time and crying every time I saw him. At one point I got on my knees and begged him not to leave me. It really hit a breaking point when he told me he didn't want to see me or spend time with me at the festival. After that I realized this was the area where my self-concept had barely improved at all, so I started working on it. I just kept believing that we were gonna be okay and stopped letting him walk all over me just to save our relationship. I stopped begging so desperately for him to put in effort and stop avoiding and lying and being mean to me. I stopped letting him be the only important person in my life. And this was where it started to get really crazy. Within the same day, one of the artists who's playing this major festival messaged me telling me he recognizes me from somewhere. We've absolutely never met, and we strike up a conversation. Over the last month, we've been talking regularly and started flirting. It's been straight out of fan fiction. He's an incredible artist who I have been casually listening to for over a year, and I love his music and he's so nice. After like 3 weeks of talking, he tells me he's gonna upgrade my 2 regular tickets to VIP, and now I have a kind of famous music artist flirting with me. 2 VIP tickets that I paid 1/5 the price for and an invite to meet some of the band's side stage with him. I still love my SP and want our relationship to get better, but for now, I'm about to be dating a rock star. So I don't really mind not going to the festival with him. And more importantly, I'm not worried about it. There's still a lot of stuff I'm going through, and I'm still stressed and not happy all the time, but only a month ago I was depressed, lonely, anxious, and pathetically begging for someone's care. You can start moving in the other direction overnight, you guys. It's just a matter of being in the moment. Today I was hanging out with my friend and we were having a deep conversation that went into many different directions. I was talking to her about dating my SP, and about her relationship with her fiancé. As we were talking, she told me that from the moment that she first met her fiancé she just knew that he was going to be her person. She told me that she never questioned when or how they were going to end up together, but she knew that they were going to be each other's person. She said that they were friends for a long time, that they dated for a period of time and broke up, and how she even dated someone else at one point, but through all that she persisted, and never lost faith that they would end up together. She was saying that she really does believe that there is a such thing as a right person at the wrong time and that sometimes you just have to let go and know that things are going to work out. She said that she felt like the universe brought them together at the perfect time and now they've been together for 7 years and have one of the healthiest relationships that I've ever seen. It's funny to me how she manifested him with absolutely no idea that she was doing so or even what law of attraction is. She genuinely just knew and let go, and everything worked out the way that it needed to. This gave me the push that I needed to keep going, and I hope it can do the same for some of you. Two years ago, I went through a tough situation with my ex-boyfriend and found out he cheated on me, and I was devastated. At this point I was already aware of manifestations and did certain techniques like vision boards, scripting, etc. Anyways, after I found out he cheated on me, I was depressed. I couldn't leave the house for a month. It was just really tough because we lived together and at that point he consumed my entire life. Anyways, on November 11th, 22, I went on a walk with my friend and we decided to do a manifestation walk. We were talking as if our manifestations happened and I was saying things like I can't wait to park my dream car, which was a G-Wagon, in front of my house, and she would say like, oh, and your large Forbes photo will be in the poster on the walkway. Anyway, it felt very real and we both were just feeding off each other's thoughts and acting as if it already happened. Later that week I made a vision board with the car, the house, a check with a certain amount of money, let's say X amount of money. 1 week goes by, and I get this weird inkling to start watching YouTube videos on this specific industry. I get extremely passionate about it and for the next month I am just consumed every day by it, when one day I come up with an idea for my own business in this industry. To sum it up, within 3 months, of all of this happening I made 10x the amount of money I had written on a check, I got featured on Forbes, I bought my dream car in cash, and moved into a 5-bedroom mansion. Okay, I know some of you may think this is fake, but it's actually not. It's actually so crazy, because when I look back on it, everything I desired manifested so quickly. What was it? Was it the technique? The mindset? Good luck? These stories may seem fake, but I'm proof that manifestation is so real. I've had a lot of time to reflect because it's been 2 years, and I've learned a lot. 1. Make sure you are extremely specific with what is that you want. For example, I was saying on that walk that I was going to live in a big house. I never specified whether I was going to own it. I ended up only renting it for 4 months. So I could have been more specific. 2. Don't try to figure out how a desire will come to your 3D reality. For example, my Forbes article happened so randomly. I was looking for an advisor for my company, and I locked in a partnership with a lady, who I had no idea worked as a Forbes contributor. She ended up featuring me in an article without me even knowing and sent me it. 3. You can also manifest what you don't want, so make sure you are extremely cautious about your conscious and subconscious thoughts. For example, I realized I manifested my boyfriend cheating on me because I would listen to songs about cheating, sad songs, or even just come up with scenarios in my head of what I would do if he cheated on me. I don't know why. I know it's difficult, we're human. We have emotions, past experiences, etc., and this is something I'm truthfully still working on. But some things I realized, just work on replacing the negative thoughts with the positive one and redirecting them whenever you have those negative thoughts. And don't beat yourself up over not being perfect. 4. Manifestation and God go hand in hand. During this period of time I also was looking at God for guidance. I felt hopeless and wanted to put my energy into something better. My life turned around so quickly. Anyways, I know these are more material things, but I worked my ass off for everything I received. Again, to some people that entire situation may have been seen as impossible, but in reality, Your reality is completely dictated by what you deem as possible. You just need to believe, act as if, feel it, and just ask for guidance from God and the universe and follow that intuition. It will happen. Think of how self-made billionaires have created such immense power and wealth. It wasn't pure luck. It's because they may have intentionally or unintentionally used their subconscious and conscious beliefs to shape their reality. They believed they were worthy of running multi-billion-dollar empires, and they did so. It aligned for them. It's possible for you, the only difference is your mindset.